Hey there everyone, welcome to another video of Fox Android. So in this video we're gonna learn how to read an OTP from a text message that is being sent for your application, right? As you know, in the latest version of Android, Google consider reading a text message of a user a great threat to privacy. So in return it has given us a user consent API. So we'll be using same for reading the OTP from a text message, right? So before going forward, let me just give you a brief demonstration of what we're gonna get by the end of this video. So if you can see on my mobile screen, there is this screen where we need to enter an OTP. So let me just send an OTP to this cell phone. Basically, I'll send an OTP message from another mobile that would imitate the OTP text message, right? So let me send that. It should automatically capture that OTP, right? So you can see a bottom dialog sheet has popped up that says allow Fox Android to read the message below and enter the code. If I just click on allow, here you can see the OTP has automatically been entered to the edit text field. So this is what we're gonna get by the end of this video. If you want to implement the same into your application, make sure you watch this video till the end. So without much ado, let's get started. So guys, if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell notification icon for receiving the notification of the upcoming videos. And by the end of the video, if you like the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button as well. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to implement two libraries. So we'll go to build.gradle file, and here we will implement these two libraries, right? I'll put the link for these libraries in the description below. You can just copy that and paste it here. And we're gonna sync the project now. So let the sync be completed. Okay guys, the sync has been completed. So let me go to the XML file of the main activity. So here you can see I already have a design for this activity. So we're not going to discuss that because there is nothing much to discuss about this. We're going to emphasize on the backend code. So basically we have this edit text field where we need to fill in the OTP, right? So the ID of this is ED OTP. Just remember that we're going to use this ID only for this edit text field. So let me quickly dive into the backend code. So for receiving the SMS, right, to getting the OTP from that text message, we need a broadcast receiver, right? So for that, I'll create a new Java class. Right click on this, new Java class. So I'll name it as SMS broadcast receiver, right? So now this class will extend the broadcast receiver class. We need to implement a method. So just press Alt Enter. Implement methods. We're gonna implement this on receive. So let us just create a interface. So public interface. I'm gonna name it as SMS broadcast receiver listener. You can name it the way you want it to be. I'll just keep it simple. So we will have two methods inside this, on success, that will take intent as an argument, and the second one will be on failure. So let us implement the receiver inside this on receive. So here you can see we'll get two parameters, context and the intent. So first we'll check if intent.getAction is equal to SMS retriever dot SMS retrieved actions, right? So we'll check here. If it is for the SMS, this method has been called, right? So bundle extras is equal to, we'll create object for bundles intent.getExtra, right? Just press Alt Enter to implement this class. Is equal to extras dot get SMS retriever dot extra status, right? So we need to cast this, that is all. Now we'll use switch case. So SMS retriever status dot get status. So if it is successful, then intent will create object of intent, message intent. Now here we'll declare public so SMS broadcast receiver listener dot on success, and we'll pass this message intent, right? Gonna break out of it. And the second case is if there is a timeout condition, right? So what timeout means is when we enable this broadcast receiver, it waits for 5 minutes, otherwise this timeout will be called, right? So SMS broadcast receiver listener dot on failure, and we will break. So that is all we need to do inside this broadcast receiver class, right? Now we're gonna implement this inside our main activity. So let us go to the main activity. First we'll declare private static final int request user consent. So we'll use this code for making a request. SMS broadcast receiver will make a reference variable for that, the class we have just made, and text input, edit text. So I'll just name it as etotp. So etotp is equal to find view by id. We are just referring to the edit text inside our main activity layout. So now we're gonna call start smart user consent. We're gonna call this method, don't worry about it, we'll just create it in a while. Let's create this method. So we'll create a object of SMS retriever client. We'll name is at client only. So SMS retriever dot get client, we'll create object of that and pass the context of this activity, right? So client dot start SMS user consent. And here is one thing, to use this API, the very first condition is the text you are getting from a number that should not be saved inside your context list. In case it is saved, you need to mention that number here. So in my case, that number is not saved in my context list, right? So this is preferred when you know the number from where you will be getting the message, then you should mention it here, otherwise you pass null. So in my case, I'll pass null here, right? Now we're gonna create another method. So basically this method will be used to register our broadcast receiver that we have just made inside the other class. So let us create this method. So let us create the object of that class. So SMS broadcast receiver dot. So we have got these two methods, on success and on failure, that we have just created here. So we need to override these two methods. So inside on success, what we'll do is start activity for result, right? And inside this we'll pass intent and the request code that we have created here, right? And we'll create object of intent filter, and we'll register the receiver, right? And here we'll pass SMS broadcast receiver and the intent filter. So we have made the object for the intent filter, and here we have called this register receiver, and we have passed this broadcast receiver, right, and the intent filter inside this method. Now we'll override two more methods. The first one is on start, and the second one is on stop. So basically, when this on start will be called, we want to register our broadcast receiver, right? So we'll call this method, this particular method. Let me just, okay, so we'll call this method when on start is called, and in case of on stop, we'll just unregister it to prevent the memory leak, right? Done. So let us override another method, that is on activity result. So if I can just show you here, we have called this start activity for result. So this callback method will be called once we get the result for our request, right? So here we'll check if request code is equal to the request we have made, then we'll check if result code is equal to result OK, and the data is not equal to null. That means we have got something inside the data. So inside this, now we know that we have got something. So we'll get the message inside this string variable, data dot get string extra SMS retriever dot extra SMS message, right? Now we'll call another method to update the OTP inside our edit text. So from, don't worry about this method, we'll just create it in a while. Message. Let's create this method. Okay, we have got this message. Now inside this, we're gonna extract the OTP out of the message and we'll update inside edit text field, right? So for that, we'll be using this pattern class. So I'll name it as OTP pattern is equal to pattern dot compile, and here you need to pass the argument. So in my case, the length of the OTP will be 6 digits. For that, I have the code here, so it may look a bit complicated. You can just, I'll provide it in the description below. You can copy it from there and paste it here, right? So okay, here 6 denotes that we need to extract 6 digits out of OTP, right? So if you have more, you can just change this value according to the length of your OTP. So now we will use matcher class. Matcher is equal to OTP pattern dot matcher, and we'll pass the message here, right? So if matcher dot find, that means inside the text message we have something like this, then etotp dot set text, and we'll set the text as matcher dot group. So basically what it will do is it will update our edit text field. So that is all we need to do to implement this feature inside our Android application. right? So let me quickly install this app to my cell phone and check if it is working fine or not, right? So okay guys, the app has been installed to my cell phone. So let me send an OTP to this particular number, right? So here you can see, allow Foxtrot Android to read the message below and enter the code. If I just click allow, so the OTP has been updated to the edit text field. So I just want to mention certain things to make sure that this thing works inside your code as well. So the very first thing is your text should contain at least 20 characters, right? The text message should not, the length of the text message should not be less than 20 characters, right? And the second thing is the text you are sending from the number that should not be saved inside your contacts list. If it is so, you have to mention that here, that number, that particular number, mobile number or whatever number it is, you have to mention it here instead of null, right? And the third thing is, when you register this broadcast receiver, that means when this method is called, if I can just show you, when this method is called register broadcast receiver, after that, that particular text message should be received, right? Not before that. If the text message is received before registering the broadcast receiver, this feature will not work. So you have to take care of these three things. If you write the code exactly the way I have written it and you have followed these three things, you should not face any problem. But still, if you face any problem, you can always ask your doubts in the comment section, or you can DM me on Instagram. The Instagram username will be there on your screen right now. And if you have understood the code and liked the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and press the bell notification icon for receiving the notification of the upcoming videos. So that is it for today's video. See you in another video. Bye.